Hello, fellow bookworms. My name is Crystal. Welcome to my channel. It is December. Happy December. This is my second favorite month of the year, right behind October. I just love everything about December. It is a slower month for me and my husband. It is cozy. The weather is cold. Like, the holidays are here. I just love everything about this month. In today's video, I'm going to be going over all of the books that I read in November. I'll be going through each one very quickly, just kind of giving you some quick thoughts on each book and then telling you my rating of each one. I read 6 books in November. Well, actually I read like 5.5 because one of them I didn't finish. I DNF'd it. We're gonna go over that one because that was a fail for me. The first one I read was Hidden Pictures. This is a thriller / suspense book with touches of horror. Oh my gosh, this was an easy 5 stars for me. This was actually a book club read. I do have a book club over on Instagram, and we read this book for the month of November, and it was amazing. And just a quick synopsis of this book, Mallory gets hired as a nanny to watch a family's son by the name of Teddy. Begins watching him, everything is going well, but then he starts drawing these very disturbing pictures like this right here. This picture, look at that. Is that not creepy as hell? That was just one of the photos. This book is filled with drawings and pictures, which I feel like really adds a lot to the storyline. I'm a very visual person, and being able to see the photos just was, I loved it so much. So Teddy starts drawing all these photos. Mallory gets very concerned. She starts doing some digging. She's like, what is going on here? And a lot of stuff is revealed. A lot of stuff, a lot of secrets. It's just all wrapped up into a very beautiful bow at the end. I loved the ending of this book, and this was a very easy 5 stars for me. Highly recommend this. The next book I read was The Haunting of Brynn Wilder. I went into this book thinking it was a haunting because of the title and because obviously of the cover. It does start out that way. It has a lot of potential starting out. This book is basically about Brynn, who is staying in a small town at sort of like an inn. And as soon as she moves into her room in the inn, some weird, creepy things start happening to her. And very quickly on, she learns about some things that happened in the inn, and these things are very concerning to her. I really loved the setting of this book. Then kind of from the middle to the end of the book, it starts taking a little bit of a turn for me, and I didn't love it. I also didn't really like the writing very much. I feel like there was a lot of parts in this book that I was just skimming through because it had nothing to do with the storyline. So I didn't really like the writing of this book. I feel like it had a lot of potential, which is why I gave it 3 stars, but it just took a turn that I just didn't love. Next book I read is Greenwich Park. This is another thriller / suspense novel. It is set in London. I will say this one had a little bit of a slower start for me. It's more of a slow burn thriller about a woman who is pregnant. She goes to a prenatal class. She ends up meeting this girl by the name of Rachel, and they quickly become friends, but Rachel starts kind of acting a little bit weird. She's doing some strange things, and Helen is kind of questioning Rachel and questioning their friendship. You're given all of these pieces of information throughout the book, all of these clues, and you're just kind of wondering throughout the whole book, how do all of these things connect with each other? I gave this book 4 stars. I did really enjoy it, although I didn't love the ending of this. I liked the storyline of how it ended, but I just don't like the way it was presented. Everything comes out in the last like 2 pages of this book, and it was very overwhelming for me. It was just a lot to take in all at once. The Paris Apartment. Y'all, this is the one I DNF'd. I was about 50% through, and I just could not read another page. I was so bored. There are so many different characters in this book. Like, I couldn't even keep up. I didn't like the writing. This was a 1 star for me. I didn't like it. Next 2 books that I read are part of a series, and I'm going to talk about these 2 books together. These are the first 2 books in the Ravenhood series. We have Flock and we have Exodus. Y'all, these books are wild. They're wild. This is a dark romance series. I will be reading the 3rd book of the series this month. We are actually starting a new book in my book club today, so I'm going to read that book, and then I'll read the 3rd book in this series. These were both 5-star reads for me. These books are spicy, okay? So just a heads up, if you don't like spice, don't even bother reading these. They are heavily spicy, especially the first one, Flock. I would say the second one is a little bit less spicy. There's still some in it, but it's not as intense as this one. So just a quick rundown of this series very quickly. The main character is named Cecilia. She ends up moving to a small town called Triple Falls, where she meets Sean. Her and Sean have an instant connection, and they form a relationship. Not a spoiler, that just happens like pretty quickly on. Sean has a quote unquote brother by the name of Dominic. Dominic is this guy who's like, he can't stand Cecilia. He doesn't want anything to do with her. He's just kind of an asshole, but there's something about him that Cecilia, she's very intrigued by him. Let's just say that. So these books are basically about like their relationships and all of the drama that comes with it. I would say this is a dark romance series mixed in with a little bit of action, a little bit of mystery, suspense, and lots of spice. Y'all, I'm saying it again. So the first book, Flock, really takes you through their relationships and kind of just is building that storyline. Exodus is a lot more emotional and a lot deeper than Flock. Already like into the storyline, and so a lot more is happening. This is where a lot of the action in the series comes in, a lot of the emotion as well. I loved both of these books so much. I cannot wait to read the third one. If you like dark, spicy romance, these are must reads. Hopefully y'all liked this rundown of all the books I read in November. If you have read any of these, I would love to know what your thoughts are in the comments. And also I do tons of reviews over on my Instagram page. I'll put my book club handle down here. It's just Crystal's Book Club. So I would love to have y'all go follow along over there as well. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in my next one.